Okay, there's the crankshaft there. And if you see right here, this is pieces of the main bearing from the main cap that's coming apart right here. So, but I also want you to look at how clean this motor is. I mean, it's not black, it doesn't have anything on it. That's because the fuel was washing this motor. See, this oil is clean, right? So there's the rod bearing. The other half is still it's seized to the rod, so we couldn't get the other half out right now. But anyway, this is what's going on with this engine. So I want to talk a little bit about lubrication. Okay, so this truck is telling me that they had a problem with oil, right? So obviously they lost oil pressure. It was running low, but it'd been that way because there was so much fuel in that oil. The thing about it is, odds are they already had a problem. And changing the oil, they may have thought that they were fixing the problem, or they were just trying to buy time with it. But it didn't just happen, because if that was old oil and fuel was mixing with the oil, it would have been black. If they had just changed the oil, it would have been black. This oil is clean. So this is maybe this oil change, maybe even an oil change before that, they were already having a problem. So because of that, they lost an engine, okay? And by the time they get finished doing whatever it is that they're gonna do, whether they're gonna replace the R&R the engine, or they're gonna out of frame the engine, or maybe they want a conversion, either or. It don't matter which way we're gonna go with this, it's gonna get really expensive when we could have took care of the problem before, right? It could have been a leaking injector, crossover tube, something to that effect. And maybe it would have been a little bit, pricey, maybe, $1,500, $1,000, whatever. We don't know what was wrong with it, but it wouldn't have cost what it's gonna cost now. So guys, if you're having a problem with your oil pressure and it's a little bit lower than what you think it should be, keep an eye on it, do the oil analysis on it, and try to figure it out before it turns into this, right? If you're having a check engine light, we need to get that check engine light checked as soon as possible, because it starts, even if it's just a simple thing like a sensor, it could be a broken wire, whatever, but it's affecting so many other things in the engine, and then it becomes a big problem. Maybe we got a intake manifold pressure problem, or intake manifold temperature problem, or something, right? So now our fueling is going to change. Doesn't know when to fuel it, how much to fuel, whatever. It could be burning rich, and you guys with the after treatment systems, well, then you start having after treatment problems, excessive soot loads, high NOx, whatever. It starts to affect a whole lot of other things when it could have been something simple in the beginning. So my advice would be, let's get this thing checked as quick as possible, and then correct it as quick as possible so things like this doesn't happen. These end frames, these overhauls, they're happening more and more. And of course it's blaming, after treatment problems. It's the after treatment system. It's not the after treatment system. Your after treatment system is catching the problem. The truck got deleted, but did you fix the problem, right? You could have overfueling injectors, like the other one that we did on the Max Force. It could be a ECM problem. It can be the injector drivers are sporadic, they're erratic, they're acting up. And because of that, we're having fueling problems and so on and so forth. It could be anything, but let's try to figure those things out before it turns into a major problem. And I believe a lot of these end frames and overhauls that are happening is not because of the after treatment, it's because they're being ignored. So unfortunately, that's what happened with this one. And you can see the oil, it's clear, right? So this didn't just happen. This has already been happening, and odds are they changed the oil trying to buy time, or they just didn't know, or it also has a new oil pan. So somebody was in there for whatever reason, I do not know, but it should have been caught a while ago. So anyway, that would be my advice to you, is let's check these things out before they get they get out of hand, and that's where we're at. I mean, we don't know. Was he prepared for this repair? I mean, that's the thing about it. When these things happen, you know, are you prepared for it? It always happens, you know, at the most inopportune moment, right? I mean, we weren't counting on that, right? So, and it's going to be very expensive, and then you got the downtime that's going to go with it, and so on and so forth. And this truck actually came from another shop, so it's got his ticket that he's got to worry about, and then he's got our ticket we got to worry about, you know, and it gets pretty expensive. And then the downtime, this truck's already been down, I guess, a week. I don't know. We just got it Friday night. So anyway, that would be my advice. Let's check this thing out before it gets crazy. I appreciate you watching.